Hi guys, welcome back to the Duke's Farm, where we farm for generations. Like I told you, we are going to walk this farming journey with you as we share everything, every detail about all the things that we do at the Duke's Farm. And today I want to share with you something interesting, something that is going to make you a billionaire, something that is going to make you a millionaire in case that is your dream. Today we want to talk about what are the benefits of actually raising goats vis-a-vis other kind of animals. And that is a discussion we're going to have today. Please don't forget to subscribe. Stick around. I'm glad you're still watching the Duke's Farm. Now, the number one benefit why you need to raise goats is because goats require limited space compared to other type of livestock. By this I mean goats can actually fix themselves in a very small area, yet in a big number. And one thing that I also like about goats is while it's true they are clean animals, they do love a clean environment, they can do in any kind of environment, in any kind of condition, as long as you give them what they require to grow on a daily. And by this I mean you can have a structure built up in any shape, in any way, as long as it shelters them from direct sunlight and of course direct rainfall. So there's not a lot that is really involved when you want to raise goats or when you want to start up goat farming. Another is there are so very many breeds available, some of which breeds are actually fast maturing. They put on meat very fast, like the boars, and so because of this it gives somebody an opportunity to choose from the best, regardless of whichever country they are in. They may choose to raise any other animal, goats, because there are several breeds, and those several breeds do serve different or specific purposes for those particular farmers involved in them. Another thing that I may not want to forget is goats can be enjoyed by all religious sects, can be enjoyed by almost all the tribes in the country or in the world. So therefore, making goat meat one of the most marketable or sought after meat on the market. And this of course creates an opportunity for people involved in goat business, because they are getting market for their goats, they are getting market for the goat meat, among many other things that are involved when you're raising goats. Another thing that you need to raise goats is because goats give you both the manure that our plants require, and goat manure is one of the best manures we have on the market, just after the rabbit manure. And this manure could be applied in your gardens directly, because it is one of the manures that has a quite handful of nutrients responsible for the growth of plant life. Goats can also be used for milk production. We've seen a couple of farmers, at least in Kenya, in Uganda. We haven't seen that people haven't embraced goat farming for milk production as yet, as it is in Kenya or in other African countries or even across the globe, okay? But one other aspect that I need to emphasize is goat milk is one of the best. In fact, I think it's even better than the cow milk because of its nutritious values, okay? So you can raise your goats for milk production, where you just get the milk, sell and get money at the end of the day. Now, we talked about goats being small animals, and being small animals, of course not as small as rabbits, but they are equally small animals. This means that they eat less, or they eat on small quantities, or eat small quantities, and this is, I think, a competitive advantage over somebody raising cattle that requires quite a handful of stuff before making satisfying the animal, the cow. So the goats, the fact that they require small amount of feed, becomes it very easy for a farmer or anybody out there to actually raise them, because they're not going to get constrained when it comes to feeding the animals. Also, talking about the feeds, goats eat quite a number of things. They eat calandra, they eat sugar napier, the sorghum, they eat millet, they eat fodder, they eat this normal grass, they eat banana leaves, they eat maize leaves, they eat maize. there's quite a lot that you can feed your goats, depending on what purposes you're raising that goat for, ladies and gentlemen. Because goats are easy to handle, they do require less, monitoring. And I think for people who are working in offices, doing goat farming could be or should be among the top things that you need to do, because they require little supervision. I mean, you have 10 goats, that is it. You have one person taking care of it. It's easy and it can be managed very, very easily, as long as you have all the facilities in place to actually handle those particular goats. So the caring process is very easy, depending, of course, on the breeds, variety, and the number of goats. Generally, they all require less care and management than many other domestic animals. They are also very active and can take care of themselves. By this, it makes it even easy for women and children to actually take care of this poor man's cow. Yes, the goats are referred to as the poor man's cow. Another reason why you should keep goats is because goats can actually acclimatize themselves in different temperatures, in different climatic conditions, and of course they are very hardy animals and they can do that a lot. Of course, this is dependent on the breeds, but most goats can tolerate a wide range of climatic conditions throughout the world. That's why when you get a boer goat from South Africa, it can do well in Uganda, it can do well in Kenya, it can do well in Tanzania, or even in the US, or even in any other country, as opposed to some other animals that can't do well when it comes to winter, or when it comes to in the tropics, like in Africa, where there is quite, a little bit of temperatures being high. Okay, goats here can survive in almost all those weather conditions. Goats also grow faster. Goats are among the very fast growing animals. On average, the goat becomes mature faster and they multiply their numbers in the flock within a very short period of time. They reach breeding and slaughtering age very, very much faster. But like I said, this is also dependent on the kind of breeds that you're keeping. For example, the boers, the savannas from South Africa, or any other exotic breed, as opposed to the indigenous breeds, should be preferred because of their fast maturing rate, fast growth rate, and they put on meat or weight very, very quickly, making a business sense out of your venture. Now, there is also the easy marketing of both the goats and goat products on the market. Goat products have very good demand in the market, both domestic and international, and therefore having a goat gives you the like you won't struggle a lot with market, because even in the country right now in Uganda, we cannot supply or meet the demand for both the goat meat, goats that are reared, and also the goat products that are on the market. We cannot meet them. And therefore, this provides a good opportunity for anybody who would want to venture into agriculture to start or go straight into goat keeping. Now, return on investment when it comes to goat farming is quite quick and high at the same time. Because the cost of raising goats is very less, like you invest in something small when raising goats, so you will be able to make very good profits at the end of the day. Therefore, the return of investment, or return on investment ratio, is significantly good for this goat business. So you will be able to make good profit as compared to a total farm operating costs. Ladies and gentlemen, return on investment is the money that you have put on or injected in that particular project. When it comes to goat farming, the return on investment is quick, because after a year or after 14 months, you're able to sell your first kits, okay? And then you're selling it at quite a price, okay? Making the return on investment quite high. And therefore, if you're choosing any business, please choose goat business today. When it comes to goat farming or goat business, there are less risks or limited risks involved. And this is explained in this format. Risks of loss are very less for goat farming business. starting the business generally require less initial investment or capital. Now, required space and other operating costs are relatively less. So, the goat farming business is virtually a risk-free business. Like, it's not like goats are rather chickens that are mostly affected by diseases where farmers tend to shy away and be like, oh, if I invested in chicken farming, well, this farm could be wiped out in a day. I know of diseases that could exactly do the same when it comes to goats, but they are not very common except when you do not follow the right management practices, the right way of raising goats. Now, goats have the capacity of eradicating poverty, and this is of course by creating job opportunities for different people. Imagine if I had about 500 heads of cattle here, I would have like 3 or 4 boys working here. That's already creating employment for them, and thus also for them eradicating poverty back then in their homes, because I do pay them handsomely, okay, if at all not handsomely, somehow relatively fair to what the market price is. So that is one way of actually eradicating poverty and ensuring food sustainability, but at the same time creating opportunities when it comes to job in the country, ladies and gentlemen. So what a better way to actually start up a goat farm like today. In case you need anything when it comes to goat farming business, be it writing proposal, business plan, or building for you the structure, or training you, please let me know on these particular numbers and I'll be more than glad to help you. Until then, it's a goodbye.